If The Wire was not a documentary, then I can't tell. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby yet again getting into some trouble. I've covered her quite a bit on this channel. My last video was about 6 months ago, and that covered her whole complaint against the FCC. It was a 3-page letter talking about the Fox affiliate out there in Baltimore had negative and slanted and racist coverage of her. And I think there were two main things that stuck out that she may not have liked too much. The first thing was when she went to a Freddie Gray tribute concert with Prince. May he rest in peace. This was back 2016, 2017, not really sure when. But remember, she's a prosecutor, okay? She's a person that charged the officers that she thought were involved with his death. She charged them. So if you go into a Freddie Gray tribute concert, there's clearly some bias right there. Just on the optics level alone, that's improper. And it's probably improper beyond just the optics. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing was how you got all this crime and violence and murder and mayhem happening in Baltimore Murderland, and you go to Universal Circus concert dancing with your husband Nick on stage. Really bad optics, really weird stuff. Baltimore's falling apart. You're not prosecuting the right people. You letting guys get murder cases dismissed on them. There's all kind of things going on. And you make plenty of money, $250,000 a year. But you still, allegedly, according to the federales, want more. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to hear what she's been charged with, what the allegation is. And after we get done with that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep, detailed analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, Marilyn Mosby and her husband, City Council President Nick Mosby, have had financial trouble for years. Fox 45 News' Mackenzie Frost has that part of our coverage.
From a tax lien on her Baltimore home and unpaid taxes to using campaign dollars for personal use, Marilyn Mosby has a lengthy history of financial fumbles and then not being transparent about it. From learning about the $45,000 federal tax lien on her home and her husband not being transparent about it. Mr. Council President, hi.
I'm sorry, we run into boat check.
To travel history investigations, Marilyn Mosby's no stranger to probes surrounding her finances. In February 2021, news surfacing Mosby using campaign dollars to pay for personal legal expenses. In September, friends of Marilyn Mosby, a campaign group, paid more than $3,200 to a law firm defending her on that travel probe. The money eventually paid back, and that's when a legal defense fund was created. A dark money organization Fox 45 News has tried over. Will you disclose the donors to your legal defense fund? And over again.
Just one question about the need for a legal defense fund.
To get answers about who is donating and how much. Tax tangles, dark money groups, and now a federal indictment centering around real estate deals worth more than $1 million in Florida, painting a picture of finances in trouble.
There's always a financial trail.
David Williams, president of the Taxpayer Protection Alliance, says the charges Mosby is facing falls in line of elected leaders, often thinking they're above the law.
It's absolute hubris of these elected and non-elected officials to think that they can get away with this. But in the end, they get caught.
Today, we actually got a look and learned a little bit of information about that legal defense fund during her first public comments today following this indictment. Marilyn Mosby said she's racked up about $500,000 in legal fees, but we still don't know who is donating to the legal defense fund, and we're not sure if we'll ever learn that information.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, Marilyn Mosby, what's going on? I mean, what in the world? Do you not have enough money? What's going on? Okay, between you and your husband, Nick. Your husband, Nick, is an electrical engineer. He makes plenty of money. He's been a senior project lead for Verizon. Like, this guy's no slouch. And he's currently the president of the Baltimore City Council. Okay? He's a college graduate, got plenty of money, has skills, can make money. You are the prosecutor in Baltimore, you're an attorney, obviously. Y'all both come from money. Well, I don't know about that, but y'all both have money right now. You're educated, you're skilled, you're accomplished, you got money, you make plenty of money. So why would you lie on your form to buy some houses in Florida, to take money out of your retirement without having the penalty? I mean, $90,000, really? You got to take that from your retirement? You don't have that in cash? Y'all make plenty of money. You can't just save that? And here's my question. I'm not really sure how much money he makes. I suppose more than her, because if she makes $250, he might make the same thing or more. I'm not really sure. But how are you able to buy 2 houses in Florida for right around $450 each? Okay. I think it was a house and a condo in Florida, $450 each. So you're talking about $1 million right around there, like $900,000 after taxes and whatnot, probably about $1 million. So you have money, you got plenty of money, you have skills, you're not just random people that got in the office. Nah, you guys had money before you got to office because, again, he's an electrical engineer. Just off what he does alone, y'all got money. So why are you scamming like this, allegedly, according to the federales? It's not me saying it, it's the federales saying it. Why scam like this, right? Now, of course, she wants to say, go back to the whole thing I said from the beginning about, oh, they want to attack me. The local news affiliates, they just want to dig into my background. They don't like me ever since 2015. Well, ma'am, this is not about 2015, 2016 or whatever. This is about like right now, 2020 and 2021. Okay, virus scams, really? Is that what we're going to do? People are so dumb. This points to the incompetence of Baltimore leadership. And if you did not catch my Wire reference at the beginning, there's a show called The Wire on HBO. And if you've not seen it, please do so, because it explains cities like Baltimore very well from the top to the bottom. I'm talking about from the low-level street guys dealing drugs, from the way it gets to the country, from politicians and the education system. It tells you the whole situation, okay? Now, in the politics season, this is what happens in Baltimore 100%. Corrupt leaders that go in there and steal unnecessarily because they already got money. So it's like, what are you even doing? You have money already. Why do you got to steal more? And then you want to steal from the federales. Are you stupid? You're a high-profile person buying 2 houses in Florida, and you're lying on the mortgage application talking about, oh, I didn't know I had a tax lien. Look, you know you have a tax lien. You most certainly do know if you have a tax lien. If you don't know, you know there's tax debt, 100%. You have been sent letters over and over and over and over and over again about tax debt. I know because I've been sending them same letters. Okay, final warning, 30 days notice, call us. They send you pre-packaged envelopes and whatnot to send the money and all kind of stuff. You know what you owe. You know what you owe. You might not know about a lien necessarily yet, but you know if you owe money. So when they ask you on your application, do you have any tax debt? Is there a tax lien on anything you have? You got to say yes, because you know that there's a debt out there. Okay, I think the lien was like $45,000 against her husband, Nick. What are y'all spending your money on? That's what I want to know. Okay, matter of fact, it wasn't against Nick. It was against both of them because they filed joint. So it was against both of them, $45,000. So I'm just trying to figure out, if you got $45,000 in debt and you take $90,000 from your retirement account by claiming the virus hardship, what's going on with your money management? You can't even manage your own money at the house. You guys can't even manage your own personal finances. You can't even get a budget to go get milk and bread and cheese and stuff like that. Now, how are you going to be able to be the prosecutor in Baltimore? How are you going to be able to be the president of the city council? This is what I'm talking about. Incompetence, corrupt people that are just there leading. It's the blind leading the blind. No wonder why you have schools like, what's that, Augusta Fell Savage, where the boy or the 18-year-old probably man had a 1.3 or 1.6, 1 point something GPA. You almost have a 0. How do you accomplish that? And then the thing about it was, he wasn't even the worst guy in the class. He was ranked in the middle. He was number 60 out of 120, right in the middle. A 0.13 GPA. That's Baltimore for you. Oh, ABL is not enough money. There's plenty of money. Baltimore gets The third most money per pupil in K through 12 public out of any school in the nation. In the nation, not just Maryland, in the nation, number 3. Okay, you have from top to bottom just a bad situation. The parents don't care, the kids don't care. Teachers can't really do too much. If you're a teacher and you're in Baltimore, you're in a violent area, the school's kind of dilapidated, and these kids they have nothing. They're 6 years old, coming to class for the first time. They have nothing. They can't spell their own name. They can't tie their shoes. They can't do anything because their parents rely upon the government. Oh, it's your job. It ain't my job to teach my kids how to read. It's your job because I'm relying upon the government. The government feeds me. They pays me to do everything. So they're going to teach my kids too. There's no books in the house. Oh, they got cell phones all day long. They be on there watching videos. They be on there on TikTok and learning TikTok dances, right? Getting that Chinese propaganda put into their brain at a young age, but they can't read or write at all. By the time they graduate, they can't read. I was watching a graduation ceremony for one of those schools in Baltimore. I think it was Augusta Fail Savage, where the boy had the 1.3 GPA, and the valedictorian was struggling to read. The valedictorian, meaning the top student in the class, in the school, in the graduating class, could not read, barely. She could barely read, okay? Barely. If you were to read like that when I was a kid in school, and I went to all black schools, by the way, like if you were to read like that, you would get clowned, you would get joked on for reading like that. When I was in 3rd grade, if you read like that, you were getting laughed at. This is an 18-year-old, can't read at all, and that's normal. That's a valedictorian. Baltimore is a failure. It's really a shame, and people like Marilyn Mosby, Nick Mosby, they're just ridiculous. Okay, and I'm not really sure what can be done to fix it. Try to vote a different way, maybe. Try to just live a different way, because you can talk about voting as I close. You can talk about voting, and that's great, but at a certain point, you got to live differently. Because if you don't live differently, if you don't change the way you behave, you're going to have to vote Democrat. How are you going to not vote Democrat when you depend upon the government for your survival? Yes, they're moronic. Yes, they're idiotic, but hey, you still getting that check. So that's what you can get at least, right? Yeah, your kids are monsters because there's an incentive to not have a father in the house, and they're going to grow up with no kind of guidance, no discipline, and be around others with the same situation. But it's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, you're still being taken care of. The government still has your back. You don't really need too much of anything else from my point of view, at least. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's happening here with Marilyn and Nick Mosby? Is this pretty much par for the course in a place like Baltimore, Maryland? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is just what happens in these Democrat-run cities. You're going to have corruption and incompetence. Okay, the corruption claiming the virus hardship when you get in $250,000 a year. Okay, your money's not being stopped. You may have had to work from home, but you still can't pay your money. $250,000 just for Marilyn by herself. And Nick is no slouch. Again, electrical engineer, the president of the city council in Baltimore. You make plenty of money. They probably make $1 million as a couple. At least I say 500. At least $500,000 net. So why are you doing this scammy stuff? And if you're able to buy not one but 2 houses in Florida for about $1 million, combined, you got plenty of money. So what are you doing? You're either incompetent or a criminal, or both. Either way, you shouldn't be in Baltimore in a position of power, in my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.